we left off with um an interesting and place. We left off where Shion gave us a ticket into an all-you-can-eat, very coveted dessert for this place that she works at, and she was being taken advantage of by some of the customers, and so we retaliated by calling our friends and ruining their days, which was a lot of fun, but I really didn't mind for voicing those idiots. I hate when I have to do that stuff, but I'm the narrator, so that's what it is. But yeah, we didn't necessarily save the day, but well, maybe we did. It was an interesting little adventure. But we still didn't. Hello, hello. If Shion is Mion, then a lot of our actions make sense and not too bad. But if Shion is not Mion, this is a very, very cold thing to do right now. Hey, it's... yeah. I don't know, it's a weird little story, and I don't always get it. Still not sure what to make of it. But anyway, we'll continue off, and I guess we're going off with more desserts and such. When we had mostly finished eating and were filling out the survey, Rika-chan made her return. Oh, good work. Did everything go alright? You took a while. I'm sorry. I got lost on the way back. It was a lot of trouble. Rika-chan likes to stray down some pretty strange roads, so she gets lost pretty often. How did she get lost just getting people to a nearby toilet? Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. Rika has a lot of strong points that more than make up for that. I can see that. That expression in the girls' room. You're quite the thespian. Keiichi was being horrible. He was thinking, if I were in their shoes, I'd just run her over and rush into the washroom. Stupid bug. Bug me for a few days now. Did what I was thinking show up on my face again? It's a bit more than that. I think they can read the text. Keiichi-kun? No, I mean... Shit. I could laugh about it then, but a few days later, a newspaper headline read, 10 unidentified men were taken into custody in Hideyama. The men claimed they have traveled from Shishibone City on foot to find a toilet, but the spot they were taken into custody was X kilometers away from Shishibone. When I read that article, I realized how terrifying Rika-chan really was. A few miles away. Just keep following. Yeah. She's a monster. Well, thanks for treating me. I'm happy that you called me here today. Oh, are you going home already? You can stay a little longer. I was in the middle of organizing some drawers. If I leave it like that, I won't be able to put out the futon. Ah, I guess that's true. Oops, looks like I called her at a bad time. Yeah. When I phoned her, she was in the middle of cleaning her room. But she still came. Well, it was an emergency, so it couldn't be helped. Besides that, I got to eat a lot of sweets, so I'm very happy. Thanks for today. Sorry for calling you out suddenly. Tell Shion I said bye. I'll be taking my leave then. Rena-san, please take your time. Yeah, I will. Later. Rika and Satoko, in a good mood, horsed around with each other as they left. Just that short of a proper ending. Higurashi when they cry. Welcome to Inamizawa. And one of the problems is going in things blind. Can't tell where the stopping points are. Makes it hard to time things. While Rena and I were having a discussion about the dessert we just ate, Shion arrived with some coffee. Oh? Did the two little ones leave already? Hearing them called the little ones was so strange, I inadvertently burst out laughing. Apparently they were in the middle of cleaning, so they went home. Shion had brought enough coffee for 4 people. I heard from my senior. It seems that you went through a lot of trouble for my sake. There was no trouble at all. None other than Shi-chan was in a pinch after all. Oh, it's alright if I call you Shi-chan? That matches with Mi-chan, so I thought it'd be cute. Well, whatever you want. Shion seemed a bit hesitant when Rena started talking to her. Rena is pretty sharp about some things, a lot of things. So Shion was probably worried that Rena would find out she was Mion after talking like this. Shion said she'd have work soon and hurried off back to the kitchen, leaving behind coffee for just the 2 of us. She was a bit upset with Rena. Maybe she thought I was being too friendly. She's just embarrassed. Still, they really do look the same. Instead of twins, it's like there's another Mi-chan. They look the same, but the atmosphere around them, or rather, their insides, are completely different. I think those types of twins are pretty interesting, though. You think that, Keiichi-kun? I think they're identical on the inside, too. It somehow became silent. Rena was just staring at the pattern the milk made on the surface of her coffee without saying a word. For somebody like me, who could never stop talking, it was a rather uncomfortable moment. Rena's soft-put mannerisms seemed to imply I had said something I shouldn't have. The unpleasantness carried on for a little while. Rena, you said it today, right? That Mion was hurting. Did I say something like that? Don't play dumb with me. You definitely said it, on the way home from school. Rena answered by laughing while continuing to play dumb, questioning if she said that. As thick-headed, not quite, as I was, I had a faint realization. Rena wanted to say that I was the one who hurt Mion. But when? Me? Hypothetically, something like that happened. It's not something I did out of malice. Continued the conversation, but left out the assumption that I had hurt Mion. Yeah, I think that's true. I don't think Keiichi-kun had any bad intentions. Rena replied, also leaving out the assumption that I had hurt Mion. But that confirmed it. I don't know how it happened, but it seemed that I had hurt Mion. And Rena was upset with me to the fact that I hadn't realized it. I don't want you to misunderstand. It's not like Rena is mad at you. Seeing right through what I was thinking, Rena said that as she smiled even more gently than usual. It's just that... How do I say this? It's hard. I made a mistake. Please say so clearly. I'm so thick-headed I disgust even myself. If there's something I should apologize for, then I want to know even a little quicker so I can make up for it. I don't think that Keiichi-kun made a mistake. Depending on how you look at it, Mi-chan might be the one who's being unfair. Taking the stance that the girl was the one being unfair might be unfair in itself. What Rena said was draped in mystery, Unfortunately, I had no idea what she meant. The only thing I got out of it was that I had said or done something to inadvertently hurt Mion. I'm begging you, Rena. Mion is one of my best friends. This fly is going to be the death of me one of these days. I'm begging you, Rena. Mion is one of my best friends. I don't want to leave something between us that could cause problems later on. So tell me, how did I hurt her? I can't tell you. You need to realize something like this for yourself. Well, ain't that just wonderful? Rena was smiling like she always did, but spoke bluntly. The fact that she had the strength of will surprised me for a moment. I'm asking you because I can't figure it out, you know? My tone had unintentionally become harsh. Rena was also surprised for a moment, but quickly returned to her flat demeanor. Well then, I guess just a hint is fine. This is special, okay? Sorry. Please. I'll think about this seriously. Rena looked around the restaurant, searching for Shion. Shion was working enthusiastically, but without confidence as usual. Chi-chan, if she ties her hair up, it's impossible to tell apart from Mi-chan, right? Yeah, that's true. So if Mi-chan let her hair down, it should be impossible to tell apart from Shi-chan? Probably. But what does that have to do with anything? What if that her being the younger twin was a lie? That she was just Mi-chan pretending to be her sister? What would you think? Rena was sharper than her daily behavior bellied. I was hesitant to verbally affirming that, but it was the right answer. It might be unfair to answer a question with another question, but like you say, Mion is just pretending to be Shion. What purpose would that serve? After maintaining the silence for a while, Rena glanced at the clock. That's what I want you to think about. That was maybe too much of a hint. After thanking me for the dessert, Rena stood up from her seat. Sorry, I was asked to buy a few things. It was about time I left. Is it okay with you if you tell Shion I'm sorry I didn't say goodbye? Yeah, I'll tell her. Sorry. That Rena is so short-tempered. Sorry for getting angry. Keiichi-kun isn't the only one at fault here. Rena was harsh in her apology, but I was the one who really should have apologized. I think to Mi-chan, it's something that doesn't bother her much anymore. So if you want to forget the whole thing happened, that's fine too. But you see, as a girl, I'd hoped that Keiichi-kun realized it by himself. He comes to apologize of his own volition. Oh? Switching to cute mode only at the end, she disappeared in the direction of the register. While I was staring into space, somebody suddenly tapped me on the shoulder. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm finally done. It was Shion who had changed into her street clothes. She flashed a smile while greeting me. Thank you so much for today. Everything was delicious. We were all really happy with it. Oh no, don't mention it. But I'm glad everybody had fun. That girl that was just here left as well? She had some shopping to do. She said she was sorry for leaving without saying anything. I see. Well then, should we leave as well? Even though I'm off duty, I'm still nervous around the workplace. We ended up strolling around without any destination in particular. I had been sitting the entire time, so I was in need of a breath of fresh air. When we left, the sky had already become draped in a veil of darkness. That's a lot of bikes over there. It's gotten dark already, even though I promised I'd be finished early. Shion seemed upset that there wasn't much time left. Oh well. At least we've got a little time to chat like this. Saying that, Shion set out the tree-lined boulevard behind the station. The front of the station was slowly becoming crowded with businessmen heading home. Well then, I guess I should start with an introduction. I was mistaken for my sister when we first met, so we never got to properly introduce ourselves. I could only smile and laugh wryly. My name is Shion Sonozaki. I'm only similar to my older sister in appearance. My sister is rough around the edges and hot-headed, but I'm a composed and methodical person. I remembered what Rena and I had been talking about earlier. I said that they looked the same, but their personalities were different, while Rena said they were both the same. I don't know what tipped her off, but Rena figured out that Shion was Mion. Also, related to that, she said that I had hurt Mion. Rena had given only one hint. That was, why is Mion pretending to be Shion? Shion, what did you hear about me from Mion? My sister seems to have taken a liking to you. She talks about you quite a bit. Like about club activities, about getting pranked and pranking you back. Boyish kinds of stories. Really do get along. Boyish kind of stories, huh? Come to think of it, I think there was something Shion told me before. Kei-chan, you don't think of my sister as a girl, do you? Was that what happened that hurt Mion? Mion herself said that she wished she'd been born a boy, and that being a girl didn't suit her. She said a lot of things to that effect, didn't she? Kei-chan, you look like you're having fun. No, that's not true. Even though you're bad at hiding things, you sure like to lie, don't you? Still, I don't hate you for it. Saying that, she lightly chopped my forehead. Even though Shion was enjoying herself, I was still trying to figure out how I had hurt Mion. I was having a hard time figuring out the riddle that Rena had left me with. Hey, see that? Don't you think it's pretty? You think even a guy would find it pretty? Yeah, it is pretty. Shion was having fun window shopping, dragging me by all sorts of stores I would normally never enter. It wasn't like she was begging me to buy her anything, and I wasn't getting bored either. It was just something to talk about as we walked around. In an easygoing way, we browsed through numerous stores. We discussed all sorts of topics I knew nothing about, but I didn't lose interest. I had the feeling she was good at conversation. Kei-chan, is this your first time doing this kind of thing? Yeah, it is. If somebody didn't bring me into these accessory shops, I don't think I'd set foot in one my entire life. Kind of how it is for me too. Not that. I meant more like this. But I thought back when Shion suddenly linked her arm with mine. You shouldn't have to act so surprised. It's not so embarrassing to link arms with a girl, is it? Shion's expression was a little bit miffed, but suggestive at the same time. I'm not embarrassed. If you want some arms, I can spare one or two. Here. Kei-chan, you really know how to entertain someone. I see why my sister took a liking to you. If you don't want my arm, I'm taking it back. Oh, come on. I'm happy to have it. Laughing in good spirits, she unlocked her arm with mine. My heart skipped a beat. This question might be a bit mean, but I want to enjoy seeing your reaction. Kei-chan, have you ever been arm in arm with a girl before? Around a bonfire at a field trip doesn't count, by the way. That little devil. She was asking that question knowing full well what the answer would be. Well, if field trips are out, this is rough. I thought as much. That impious laugh. It really is the same as Mion's. You really are Shion, right? You're not just Mion saying that you're Shion, are you? Are you thinking that my sister might pretend to be me? I thought you were twins until just now. But that way you mess around is just like Mion. You're just saying that. You can tell us apart easily. What do you mean by that? If my sister was holding your arm like this, would you get nervous? I would. I'd be completely on edge worrying about when she would go for an arm lock. Shion laughed so hard she had to hold on to her sides. Hey, is it really that funny? You're tearing up. No, it's just... I was just thinking about how hopeless my sister is. She isn't even able to get a young man hot and bothered while she's arm in arm with him. She really is a failure as a woman. I remembered once again that I'd heard someone say that before. Sometimes I think that my sister would have been better off if she'd been born a boy. If she did, I might have fallen for her. Just kidding. Mion did say something about wanting to be born a boy. Yeah, it's a bit harsh, yeah. Oh, welcome. Yeah, my sister is on the fence as to whether she wants to be a boy or a girl. Well, it's the price she pays for living an awkward lifestyle. Just leave her be. You've been saying some pretty harsh things about your sister right now. Mion has some soft parts to her that I don't like. The way that Shion talks somehow sounded cold. Shion, do you not get along with Mion? Well, we get along well enough. Still, there's a few things for which I can't forgive her, as her sister. Hey, look at that. Don't you think it's cute? I turned around to look at where Shion was pointing. What was there was the familiar display window of a toy shop. The same shop that was the stage for the incident that occurred during last Sunday's club activities. What Shion was pointing at was a display with a plethora of adorable dolls that looked like the sort girls would like. I wonder why girls like these kinds of things. It's because they're cute? Don't you think they're cute, Kei-chan? I'm a man, so I don't really get that vibe. Now. Which one do you think is the cutest out of all of these, Kei-chan? Shion, pulling on my arm, motioned to the row of dolls. They were lined up like they were close sisters, taking a commemorative photo. A few of them seemed strangely familiar. I've seen those four over there somewhere. Well, I guess they really are famous. If even you know about them. Shion sounded impressed. These are new dolls that were just brought in from England. They still have some available here, but around the cities they have trouble keeping them on the shelves. Even though they're supposed to be inexpensive, it seems they're starting to come at a premium. I guess girls still like these kinds of things even as they grow up. Yeah. It depends on the person, but I think that girls who don't like dolls and stuffed animals are pretty few and far between. Not horribly so, but... Even my tomboy of a sister said these were adorable. No, even Mion says they're adorable. That is pretty amazing. That's right, I just remembered. The store owner gave this one to us after Sunday's event. Except for Mion, who was a relative, everybody had gotten something. I really do think that one's the best. That frilly dress really gives it something. That's it. That's the one the shop owner gave to me. And so it seems. Shion replied softly, but clearly. Uncle Yoshiro gave those out as thanks for helping liven things up at Sunday's event. It seems he gave them to the 4 friends my sister brought along. So you got the doll with the dress then. What did you think? It was really cute, right? As a man, there's no way I'd think it was cute. So what did you do with the doll? I wasn't really going to do anything with it, so I gave it to someone. To who? As Shion laughed, I could hear an audible click run through my head, like the piece of a jigsaw puzzle snapping into place. Thank you very much for today, everyone. You made the event turn out great. It's not much, but here's something extra for today. Uncle Yoshiro, isn't there a little something for me too? My. Quite an adorable one, is it not? Once Satoko and Rika-chan opened up the bag, there were cute little stuffed animals inside. Oh, they're so cute. Can I take them home? I really can? Which means there's something for me too? Well, I got a pretty adorable one. There's a stuffed toy wearing a beautiful dress, one you used to play house. Rena's eyes were glued to my stuffed doll. Satoko was the same, and Rika-chan too. I see. It wasn't just Rena, Satoko, and Rika-chan. There was one other person who seemed jealous. Gei-chan got the one that fits him the least. Not wanting for her expression to give it away, she had said that to hide her embarrassment. Well, I guess it's cute and pretty, I can admit. It's adorable, but the doll changeable clothes is... If you walked around with it, then you'd be treated like a weirdo starting tomorrow. Definitely. Mion's usual teasing way of talking. I looked around to see who I should give the doll to. Mion was right in front of me. Mion was the only one who hadn't received a present, so I thought about giving it to her. But I didn't. You're giving it to me? To Rena? Thank you. Turning away from Mion's covetous gaze, I gave the doll to Rena. Mion's smile bore into my back. There was no way I couldn't have noticed. Why did I not give it to Mion? Since Mion was the only one who didn't get anything, wouldn't it have just been standard practice to give it to her? At that time, I had noticed that something was wrong. That's why I said it. Just protecting myself. If I didn't give it to Ren, then walking the streets at night would be scary. No doubt, no doubt. I thought about giving it to Mion, but it just didn't feel right. Something dark flickered briefly in Mion's eyes, but at the time I didn't notice it. I had thought to give it to Mion. Why didn't I? You know it. I sometimes wonder why I wasn't born a boy. Mion herself had said that with a laugh, so I didn't realize I had hurt her. That's right. Mion is more suited for cool things. So I think having you help out here was the right choice. Shion asked, probably thinking she misheard me. The uniform. It would never suit somebody like Mion. If it's Shion, I think it works. Huh? You mean that, Shion, like Ren often does, spaced out and turned bright red. Mion seemed really happy. She seemed happy that I complimented Shion. Saying that it didn't suit Mion, but that it suited Shion. Saying that it suited her seemed to make her happy. Mion's younger twin sister. She's got a different personality, but she's a dead ringer for Mion. That's right. We look similar, but our personalities are completely different. I'm very kind and thoughtful, but Shion has a cold and scary personality. I think that when you guys were born, Shion got all the feminine aspects. Unlike Mion, she's a cute, cheerful girl. Mion made a strange face that both angry and happy at the same time. It seemed she was happy that I said Shion was cute. Sneaking a look inside the box to say that she had just put some of the leftovers inside would have been a lie. There was an elegant meal stuffed inside. Is it really okay? There's not like a ton of hot sauce mixed in or anything, right? Jeez. You're not my sister. I wouldn't do that kind of thing. If you don't like it, you don't have to force yourself. I'll just go home and eat it myself. I'm not my sister. That was how she said it. Shion was insistent that she wasn't Mion. She was saying that she was Shion, and that I shouldn't think of her as Mion. When Mion was Shion, it carried a special meaning. Mi-chan is mysterious, right? She's a girl, but it's like she's a guy. That's what Rena said. But you see, even that Mi-chan is actually really feminine. Rena, how much did Mion pay you exactly? That's not true. Jeez, I'm trying to have a serious conversation, you know? You know? Rena began to pout. Now probably wasn't the right time to joke around. Mi-chan is the club president, so she's trying hard to lead everybody. But she's really a very cute girl. I really don't want you to forget that, Keiichi-kun. There never was a riddle to begin with. Rena was saying the answer right from the beginning. So then, I don't know what's going on anymore. Yeah. I know Kei-chan didn't mean anything wrong. At least, he didn't intend to. Yeah. Keiichi-kun isn't the type of person to hurt others. So there's no reason for you to feel hurt by this, Mi-chan. Then, what was it? Frustration? Sadness? I don't know at all. Did you want it? The doll, I mean? It wouldn't really help even if I gave you the doll I got, would it? You're right. How about this, Mi-chan? Try asking Keiichi-kun. You might be able to solve the problem if you tackle it head on. There's no way I could do that. Is it too embarrassing to do that now? I want to try again. As somebody other than Mion. This time, I can be more honest with myself. Don't get me wrong, I'm pretty fond of the relationship I have with Kei-chan. This might be selfish, but one more time. Keiichi-kun will definitely notice. I wonder if that's true. Rena will cheer you on too. So let's find a way for you to ease your sadness. Believe me. I won't let anything happen that'll make you cry, Mi-chan. I'll believe. I'll believe. Keiichi-kun will definitely come to understand. He'll say he's sorry for saying something so callous. Then he'll bring you to that store and buy that doll for you as a present. Yeah. Yeah. And then, Mi-chan, you'll say thank you. You can't fool around. Say it honestly. Yeah. If I said I wanted it, Kei-chan, would you buy it for me? Mion said it quietly, doing her best to quell her embarrassment. I would have reflexively begun to lightly tease her to hide my embarrassment. But like Mion, I quelled that impulse.
いいよ、ミオン。
Okay, Mion.
今日までのお礼ってことで
Says thanks for everything
どれで
until
も買って
today.
やるよ。
I'll buy you whichever one you want. My voice cracked with the unfamiliar words. In order to not lose to Mion trying her best, I tried my best as well. But I'm not Mion. I'm Shihan.
じゃあシオン。
Shion then.
シオンに買ってやるよ。
I'll buy it for you, Shion. Shion looked down, red-faced. She pointed at the doll and the dress to the store window. Is it really okay? The one in the dress is a little expensive, isn't it?
値段の問題じゃないだろう。
This isn't a matter of price.
気持ちの問題
This
だ
is
よ。
a matter of feelings. When I was saved by Kei-chan from those unsavory customers today, I was really happy. Even though my coworkers didn't save me, Kei-chan did. He grabbed me by the shoulder really firmly, right? Right then, you were really cool. Even then, I was so embarrassed. I couldn't properly express my gratitude. I clamped my hand down on Shion's head and ruffled her hair roughly, like how I would to Rena and the others. When I did that, Shion, like Rena, would have spaced out and blushed slightly.
そんな難しいのは抜きでいいよ。
You don't have to think too hard about it.
あの時
I should have just given it to you back then.
そうすれば
If I did that, then everybody would have had a good laugh. Shion didn't respond. She had turned bright red, like she was trying to hold back both laughter and tears.
今買ってくるよ。
I'll go buy it for you right now.
そこで待ってるよ。
Wait right there. I'll go with you. Saying that, she grabbed onto my arm once again. She wasn't trying to be stoic anymore. I think I know why. My sister likes you. Hey, is it alright if I start to like you a bit too, Kei-chan? The unfamiliar situation made my head start to spin. What am I doing? I had reached my limit. Smiling wryly to hide my embarrassment, I dragged Shion into the store with me. Excuse me. I want to buy that doll in the dress that's in the window. After a moment, I heard a voice of acknowledgement, and an apron-clad employee soon appeared. Kei-chan? And why are you here? This has nothing to do with you. I'm on a date with Kei-chan right now. Huh? Why is Kei-chan? Even if you ask why, I'd like to know the answer myself. Mion looked at me with an expression of confusion and surprise. But that was the same with me. If she was there, then who was next to me? I said it right at the beginning. I'm Shion Sanazaki, my sister's younger twin. Kei-chan, you even called me Shion, didn't you? Shion, saying that, pouted cutely. What is going on? Tell me, Shion. Not much. I was wondering what kind of person this Kei-chan you were so infatuated with was. So I happened to give him a ticket to the Desert Festa. Then, when I was being bothered by all sorts of troublesome customers, Kei-chan gallantly appeared and saved me by kicking them off the curb, or something like that. So nobody considers it a spoiler now, huh? I guess it's one of those things. Like Snape kills Dumbledore, one of those things. Both Mion and I raised our voices pathetically, expressing our confusion to the utmost. Mion, you phoned me. Yesterday, right? I didn't. I have no idea what you're talking about. I delivered that bento for you, didn't I, Kei-chan? That was me, right? Or was it my sister? The person known as Mion Sanazaki put together a bento and bravely went to a boy's home to deliver it. Maybe. Oh, you're a lot bolder than you look, sis. with a loud pop, a trail of smoke began to rise from Mion's head. No, I don't know. You see, Kate-chan? My sister says she doesn't know. So everything up until yesterday was me, Shion Tsunezaki. You might have thought it was my sister pretending to be me, but with this, there's no doubt, right? No doubt at all. I couldn't tell up from down at that moment. If there was a mirror around, I could have seen my eyes go wide from the shock. Now, little Miss Shopkeeper, could you wrap up that doll in the window? It's the first present from the person I've come to love, so make sure you tie it up nicely with a ribbon. Mion, completely flustered, was being cornered by a sly-faced Shion. My brain had stopped working. Wait, what? Huh? Kit-chan, what is going on? Well, let's go. Kei-chan, it's already dark out, so I'll see you home. Sis, sorry. Oh, could you phone the house in Okinomiya and have them send out a car? Maybe a van that we can fit in a bike into, please. A van? In contrast to Shion, who had glee written all over her face, Mion was an empty shell and looked like she could burst into tears at any moment. Kei-chan. After that, Mion's grumblings were unrelenting. Yeah, Higurashi when they cry. Welcome to Hinamizawa. Okay, so it hasn't been long enough. If that were me, deal. What the deal with Shion and Mion was. Deal as an agreement or deal as in the story. Yeah, that's gonna. Yeah. Oop! I missed the tip. Oop. Damn it. Give me a sec. I'm gonna go check out that tip real quick. But story. The actual twist is they're actually quadruplets. There's actually 4 of them. Just all. That's how she has so many jobs. There's just 4 Mions just running around. Shit. Character jump. Looks like I got 3 more pages. Alright. Yeah, it's I picked up on a hint of that. First time Kichi meets her is actually at the Desert Fiesta. Okay, so turning back my memory. Well, the first time in game we run into a Shion is where the hell was it? My order of events just got jumbled. Okay, so there was the thing with the bento box. There was the thing outside where we got rescued from the hoodlums. And then there's the seeing her in the uniform. I think there's another event, but I'm brain farting on it. And yeah, I could totally see Mion, especially after what just happened, being jealous and insecure about herself and pretending to be Shion so that Keiichi will like her, or some such. Oh yes, big old mess, but the very simple thing to do, and the thing I would have done personally would be to straight up drop Shion right at that moment. That's a very incredibly maliciously manipulative thing to do. And then doing that in front of Mion, and that's not a very nice thing to do at all. So, my personal opinion would have been to have dropped it right then and there, and then talked to Mion and sorted things out. That's what I would have done. Bento was Mion. Alright, it's... okay. Yeah, because the time frame of that actually happening was really difficult to for Shion to pull off. That was one of the things I was questioning. It muddled things up a bit, but yeah. Alright. I'll continue for a bit. Stop saying it's been a while. We've seen each other every day up until yesterday, haven't we? Whatever. If you say so, we'll go with that. Someone from Shion's house came to get me in a station wagon. I had initially refused, but Shion insisted, and so both my bicycle and I ended up stuffed in the car. Wow, man. The way she really does have just... You should do a taxi service. Said car was currently driving across a single bumpy road leading to Hinamizawa. For goodness sake, Shion was at Mion's level at least, or maybe even better actor. Either way, no matter what questions I pressed her with, she'd slip out of them like an eel. See, that right there just answered the fucking question. Still, you two look so alike. If you tied your hair back like Mion does, would you look exactly like her? Who knows? That's probably what would happen. We're identical twins through and through. In the past, we could just change our clothes and no one would be the wiser. It's a fun little prank to do, but... yeah. Foreshadowing. I remember we'd swap places at every opportunity and fooled a whole lot of people. The middle-aged driver wearing a black suit heaved a heavy sigh, like he were a butler. What's wrong, Kasai? That was a pretty deep sigh. Excuse me. I was just thinking that you haven't changed. You could see many years of hardship on the man's face through the rear-view mirror. Anyway, Kei-chan, your house is around here, right? Kasai doesn't know much about Hinamizawa, aside from the road that goes to the Sonozaki main house. If you leave it to him, he'll take you all the way to Yagochi. I don't want that. Excuse me. Could you stop at the narrow road at the next right? I'll walk from there. He stopped the car at the desired place. The driver, Kasai, got on my bike out of the trunk for me. Sorry about that. Thank you very much for showing me home today. Artwork? Was it Kei-san? Your name, that is. Yes? You must be having various difficulties. But I believe she will grow tired soon, so please endure things until then. He gave me a deep, deep look of sympathy. This guy has definitely been dealing with the Sonozaki sisters ever since they were little kids. However, like Mion-san, she's a kind person at heart. So that means she'll be as much of a bother as Mion, right? The man's face froze in a smile. His reply lost. Hey, back me up here. Bye, Kei-chan. We'll see each other again soon. Say hi to my sister for me, too. Maybe I'll start going to Hinamizawa tomorrow. Don't you dare. If you transferred in, I'll transfer out to a school in Okinomiya. Wow, that was really mean, Kei-chan. A short beep of the horn. The man gave a little wave to me from the driver's seat. Then the car withdrew into the dark night roads, leaving dust in its wake. Man, this entire day made no sense. I ran into Mion while I was with Shion, and the former's expression, like a pigeon shot with a pellet gun, had finally begun to make a strong impression on me. Higurashi when they cry. Welcome to Inamizawa. When they cry. Well, that was lovely. Oh, chapter, not character. Nope. Wondering if I could just get those last little chat lines I missed out on. Alright, this was, I think, the next day is what I missed. It was a little strange. It was a strange day where Mion was desperate to regain her composure. Every time our eyes met, she would say that she had something to do or that she had to use the washroom and run off. Don't quite blame her. Unable to just watch, Rena was taking care of her the entire time. Mion-san, she's acting totally strange today. I know the whole story, but it's hard to explain. There are times when girls are emotionally unstable. It's best to just leave her alone. Turning around, I saw Rena calling me from the hallway. I wondered what it was. Keiichi-kun, over here, over here. What is it, calling me over like this? Is it a secret? That is... It looks like it was a disaster. Yeah. Mi-chan seemed pretty broken, but I somehow got her working again. I'm surprised you managed it. How did you exactly? Same way I do with the television. Just come at it from a 45-degree angle and yeah! Saying that, she made a chopping motion. My electronics teacher calls that, percussive maintenance. You know I can't tell if you're joking or not, right? She'll be fine by tomorrow. Also, there's something I want you to do, Keiichi-kun. I didn't mean to do anything wrong, but I still feel guilty. I'm listening. Thanks. You see, Mi-chan is just going to pretend the last few days never happened. Never happened, huh? I see, well, that's one way to run from it. So you see, Keiichi-kun, could you pretend too? Then Mi-chan can go back to normal. It's just doing something as simple as that. Is it really gonna be okay? Please, until Mi-chan gets her feelings in order, just go with it. Well, it depends on the device. If it's like if it's like a cell phone, that's probably not the best way to use it, but the old CRTs, just bam! That actually is a way to jostle it back into place. It actually works. You wiggle the stuff, knock off the dust, and get things back into working order. It just depends on it. Old clunker of a car, old TV, radio, things like that. Works pretty well. Please, until Mi-chan gets her feelings in order, just go with it. Okay, I got it. Even though I shouldn't have been at fault, for some reason I felt guilty. Not entirely at fault, but you went along with it. And this is also one of those reasons where talking bluntly and honestly and openly makes it so that mistakes don't happen. The one at fault here was the one who knew about the entire situation and pretended to be Mion for an entire day. Shion. Yeah, she's definitely at fault. Significantly so. But she never once said that she was Mion. but she never denied that she wasn't. Well. Oh, well. Oh, she said, yeah, no, I'm Shion. She always said she was Shion, but she never corrected our assumptions. What am I supposed to be angry at? Seeing me stomping the ground impatiently, Rena giggled. But Keiichi-kun, you know as well that Mii-chan has some cute things about her. Rena talked in a calm voice as her hair rustled in the wind. Yeah, I know that she'll never let it be boring. Good. Following this curt reply, Rena looked up at the sky and stretched. As long as you realize that, Keiichi-kun, these past few days will soon be nothing more than a story to laugh about. Copying Rena, I also began to stretch as I looked at the sky. The clear sky towered into the distance. There's no club activities or anything today. I'm sorry, Keiichi-kun, but just for today, can you go home by yourself? It'll all be back to normal by tomorrow, so just for today, okay? If all it took for everything to go back to normal was to leave Mion alone for today, then it was an easy decision to make. Got it. I can't say it directly to Mion, so I'll say it to you. I still feel kind of guilty about it, so I want to apologize. No. I've heard of the problem was Keiichi-kun saying something insensitive, right? So if we learned anything from this, you need to look a bit into gaining a sense of delicacy. Right, I'll try. That day was the shortest day of my life. Rena was talking to Mion while accompanying her around the entire time. It looked like a really fun conversation, so I reflexively thought about joining in, but I had made a promise not to. It seemed that Mion was also trying her best to ignore me. So likewise, I did my best to ignore her. For the first time in a while, I ate lunch alone. Mion and Rena ate theirs by themselves. As I let out a sigh in my ashen mood, Rika-chan came over and patted me on the head. Both Keiichi and me learned a whole lot. I'd never say it like that. Made it sound like we were having romantic problems. I didn't like that one bit. You kind of are, buddy. Hopefully, the teacher wouldn't notice and call us to the staff room after school or something. I'm sure that Keiichi will grow up to be a wonderful adult. Pat, pat. Rika-chan is a studious type, so maybe he'll grow up to be an amazingly wonderful adult. Of course. When I grow up, I'll be super amazing. When I grow up, I'll be an amazing lady, you know. No matter how old you get, you'll still be a brat. You can put money on it. What did you say? As Satoko snapped her fingers, a washman fell from above, hitting me squarely in the head. What do you think you're doing, Satoko? Bang, smash, pinch, squeeze. It was a day I could go through thoroughly. It was a day I could thoroughly appreciate the value of having friends. Hey, my title worked. Higurashi when they cry. Welcome to Hinamizawa. Yeah, my titles are always blind, and I try and get a good idea of what's going on. They generally work out. Sometimes they don't. Alright, so day 2 of the aftermath. Today was Saturday, so school ended in the blink of an eye. It really felt good to go home with the sun so high in the sky. On any other day, our club would have been up to mischief during our ample after-school time. But today, Rika-chan had a rehearsal for tomorrow's Watanagashi to go to. How's that going, Rie-chan?
練習はバッチリ。
Do you have it down in practice?
去年よりは
I'll
頑
try
張り
harder
ます
than
で
last
す
year.
去年は終わった
You were
後
so exhausted and
ヘトヘ
sweaty
ト
after
の
last
汗だ
year's
らけだったんだよ
ceremony.
ね。今年はもっ
She'll
とも
look
っと
far
様に
more
な
in
ってます
fit
わ
for the
よ。
role this year.
特訓の成果
Please look forward to the
ご期
fruits
待
of her
休ませです
training.
よ。
The Watanagashi festival everyone had been talking about was tomorrow, wasn't it? The festival, being in June, felt a little early to me, but the onset of summer came quickly this year, so it fit the image of a summer festival pretty well.
じゃあ僕たちは
Okay,
失礼
we'll
し
be
ま
off
す
then.
明日を楽しみに
Look forward
なさ
to
いませ。
tomorrow.
それでは
Good day to you
ごきげん
all.
ようですわ。
Satoko and Rika-chan waved to us energetically, then left.
そういえば聞い
You
てな
know,
かったんだけど、
I never
祭り
asked,
会場ってどこなんだ？
where is the festival happening anyway?
この辺って
I don't remember there being anywhere around here that seems suited for hosting one.
フルデ神社でや
They
るんだ
do
よ
at the Furude Shrine.
ほら
We went there for a walk one day, remember?
あの見晴らしの
It
良
was
か
a
った
place
とこ
with a
ろ
really good view. Oh, right, I remember. There was a shrine all the way up on that hill, wasn't there? It seemed far too grand for Hinamizawa.
神社には立派な集会
There's
所
a
とか
great
もあっ
meeting
て
hall in the shrine
老
too.
人会のカラオ
The
ケ
older
とか
people get
水泳
together
サー
there
クル
and
の
sing
会話と
karaoke
かを
and
時々
practice
やってるから
calligraphy
ね
from time to time.
単なる神社というよ
It's
り
more
は
like a recreational
公共施
facility
設のよう
than
な
a simple
雰囲気だ
shrine.
ね。
なるほどね。
I see.
それなら立派
I
なのも
guess it
納
makes
得だ
sense that it looks so grand then.
みーちゃんちも
Mi-chan,
今日の
is your
設営
family
で
going to
はお
help
手
set
伝
up
いに
today?
行くの？
Yep.
男手がいるか
We
ら
have
ね。
male hands for that.
町から親
Most of
類
our
が大勢
relatives
手
come
伝い
from
に来る
town
よ
to help. Male hands, huh? Well, I mean, I have nothing to do at home today, so
俺みたいのが
would
飛び
it be
入り
a
で参
problem
加す
if
る
I
と
swore my way in there to help out too?
ケイちゃん
Do you want to help us, Kei-chan?
迷惑なら行かねえよ。
Not if it'll bother you all.
単なる興味
I
だ
was
から
just
さ。
kind of interested. We had both dances and other festivals in the town I used to live in, but I didn't even know where they took place, much less wanted to help. You could say that I had absolutely no connection to the region. Having come to Hinamizawa, though, it really made me feel like this place was a home that I had returned to. Before I knew it, I harbored a little interest in the small community activity of preparing for a festival the day before.
ケイチくん頑張
I
れるか
wonder
な？
if he'll be able to, Keiichi-kun.
テントを立てたり
There's a lot of
パイプ
building
椅子を
tents and
並
setting
べ
up
たり
chairs.
結構重
I
労
hear
働
it's
って
pretty
聞い
hard
てる
physical
よ。
labor. You don't think we can set up chairs? Back in elementary school, I could carry a whole 5 of them at myself.
別に俺一人でやるわけじゃないだ
I
ろ。
mean, I wouldn't be doing it alone, right?
みんなでやれば
The more hands
きっ
we
と早い
have,
ぜ。
the faster it'll go. Mion looked at me to hear that, but at the same time, her expression was complex, tinged with hesitation. Rena gave her the last push for me.
じゃあ決定だ
It's
ね。
decided then.
行ってきなよ
You
ケイ
should
チ
go
く
for
ん。
it, Keiichi-kun.
みーちゃんは
He's all yours,
ビシビシ
Mi-chan.
こき使ってあ
Put
げ
him
て
through the
ね。
ringer.
レナの
Well, I
推薦
can't
じゃ
argue with a
仕方ないな。
recommendation from Rena.
じゃあさ、
Okay
帰っ
then.
たらラフな格
Go
好で
home
神社に
first,
来なよ。
put on some work clothes, and come to the shrine.
汗拭き用のタオルもある
Oh,
といいかも
and you
ね。
might want to bring a towel to wipe your sweat, too.
よし来た。
Got it.
俺こう見えても
I might look
太
scrawny,
陽の
but
下で
actually
汗をかくの
quite like
嫌いじゃない
breaking
んだ
sweat
ぜ。
under the hot sun.
せいぜい腰を痛めない
Careful you
よ
don't
うに
hurt your
ね。
back, okay?
じゃあ、
Right.
おじさんはこの
Enough of
辺で
my old man spiel.
私も着替えたら
I'll
す
go
ぐ
to the
に神
shrine
社に
too,
行くから。
as soon as I've changed.
みーちゃんも頑張って
Mi-chan,
ね。
you do your best too. Bye-bye. Mion waved vigorously to us and left. As far as I could tell from her gallant, retreating figure, she seemed to have recovered from the weak state she had yesterday.
女の子は切り替えが早いん
Girls
だ
are
から
quick to get over things.
もうみーちゃんも
Mi-chan is
大丈夫
already
だよ。
fine.
うん。
Right.
あれだけ綺麗に切り替え
Her
てくれる
switching
と
back to normal so cleanly really makes it easy for me to talk to her.
でも面白かったで
It
しょ？
was kind of funny though, wasn't it?
シンデレ
kind
ラ
of
みたい
like
っていうのかな。魔法が解
Like
けたら
you can't meet her anymore once the magic wears off. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. You missed the drama. Yeah, it's well, we went and talked to Shion, and then we talked to Mion, and then things got troubled. Now we're gonna set up for a festival. How's your day? Rena began to giggle a fair bit in amusement. And did she like this sort of thing? Incidentally, me going along with it gave me a weird, hard to describe feeling. Did I turn myself into a plaything, or did they do it for me?
そんなに面白いなら
If you think it's so funny, then you should try pretending to be a different Rena too.
面白そうだ
Yeah,
ね
sounds like fun.
じゃあケイチ
Keiichi-kun, what kind of Rena would you want to meet?
アイドル真っ青のルックスと
One with a model class body line, the looks of an innocent young idol, and the patience to see my every whim.
そ
I can't do that.
料理上手でお昼のお弁当を
She'd be
作って
great
く
at
れて
cooking, and make me lunch, and come to see me in the mornings.
それいつも
I
やって
do
る
that already. I pull Rena's head into a tight grip, then start to pet it.
リュウグウレナなんだ
You're
ろ
Rena
レイナ
Ryugu,
じゃな
right?
くてレナ
Rena, not Reina.
だからレナは
So you just stay as
いつまで
Rena
も
forever.
レナのまんま
Got
だ
it?
よ
ありがとう
Thanks.
お祭りのお手
Have fun helping set up the festival.
おう
You got
明
it.
日
Let's meet up
祭りで
tomorrow.
会おうな
One moment. Got that damn fly. There we go. Okay. I got changed right away, and slinging a towel around my neck like Mian suggested, I set off for the shrine. At the shrine, there were more people than you'd imagine, even live in Hinamizawa there. All cordoning off areas and setting up tent fire frameworks, chatting amongst themselves as they did so. Alright, where's Mion? The liveliness of the throng didn't make it easy to look for her. I searched around as if I already were there, and suddenly the principal called out to me. Hmm? If it isn't Maebara-kun. Interesting. Have you come to help with the Watanagashi setup? Hello.
何かお
Yes,
手
I
伝
was
いでき
just
ないか
wondering
な
if
と
there
思
was
いまして
anything I could help with.
首相な心が
How
けで
commendable your attitude is.
存分に汗を
Feel
流
free
し
to sweat to your heart's content. Spurred on by the principal, I came upon a group of people setting up tents.
ありゃ
Oh, what's this? This is my Bar-chan. Did you come all this way to help us? I hadn't found Mion yet, but I suppose I'd just get in her way if I ran into
おっ
her.
す
Eh,
手伝い
yeah,
に来ました
I'm here to help.
よろしくお願いします
Just tell me where you need me. The young ones have all the vitality. Here, grab some more gloves. Never built a tent before?
いえ初めて
No,
です
never. Delighting in teaching a new skill to someone younger, plenty of people happily taught me all sorts of things. Teaching people is fun when they're wanting to learn, anyways. Okay, kid. We'll go inside the tent and tie up just the cord for the top. After that, we'll stand it up and tie the rest of them.
蝶々結びでいいんですよね
Butterfly knots are okay, right?
よいしょ
There and there.
結んだか
All done?
当てる
We're
ぞ
standing it up.
いっせ
One, two,
ー
three.
の
What was once nothing more than a collapsed tent was raised on 4 splendid legs before my eyes in mere moments. Whoa. Seeing it put together like this is actually pretty moving.
ほれほれ
Come on, no time to stare and wonder. We've got a lot more to do. We packed the tents into the truck, so go get them from there. They're heavy, but take someone with you.
大丈夫っすよ
Nah, I'm good.
俺こう見えて
I
も
may look scrawny,
結構
but I'm
力
actually
あ
pretty
るんす
strong.
から
They look light enough, so I thought they were, but they're heavy. He just said so, man.
だから
That's why I told you to have someone help. Come on, said the man, lifting it up with a grunt and taking it away under his arm. Either I'm weak, or these old guys all have superhuman strength.
ほら
Probably
一
both.
番若いんだから汗
Let's
しない
go.
とダメだ
You're the
ぞ
youngest one here, so we're gonna make you sweat for it.
頑張れ頑張れ
Do your best.
終わった後の
Beer
ビー
after
ルが
work is
お
the
前
best.
あの俺未成年だし
I'm a minor. Sweat dripped from my body. I had been fully and completely absorbed in helping them. I would never have thought the cold barley tea from the Women's Society could taste this delicious. You're so young. Make sure you drink a lot.
ありがとうござ
Thank
い
you.
ます
It was then that I realized a crowd had formed near the shrine a ways off. When I took a closer look, I saw a girl dressed in shrine maiden garb and a handful of old men looking like they were preparing for the ceremony together.
リカちゃん
Is that Rika-chan?
おーい
Hey,
リカちゃん
Rika-chan!
頑張れよ
Do your best. I shouted, and it seemed like she heard me. Rika-chan, positively exploding with vitality, answered with a smile. The older guys with me watched Rika-chan as well, with distant gazes. Yeah, green or black teas. Yeah, I'm not fond of the black teas. Green teas, eh. I'm still not by any means a tea connoisseur. You could count the amount of tea I've had, the types of tea I've had on both hands. So yeah, it's not a lot. The older guys with me watched Rika-chan as well, with different distant gazes. Okay, yeah, I think that was one my sister made for me. It was alright. I think she put milk or something with it. It was okay, nothing like fantastic or anything. Apparently I have a penchant for I prefer the fruit type teas, not quite the green teas, I guess. I don't know. Rika-chan is doing a great job. She seems far more used to this than she did last year. The old lady who gave me the tea clasped what looked like prayer beads in her hands and said, Rika-sama, we thank you, we thank you. Sama? And just like that, began to respectfully pray to her. Huh? I just remembered that they called it the Furude Shrine. Wasn't Rika-chan's full name Rika Furude? The man standing next to me answered my question. That's right. Rika-chama's Furude clan is ancient and honorable, and has worshipped Oyashiro-sama for generations. Citrus and over here. More stuff, more stuff. Lady Grey. 20. No, I'll look into it. Oh yeah, also on that note, I do have some ingredients for curry that I'm going to be trying something probably on the weekend when I have a bit more time to devote to it, as opposed to just like a couple minutes before, after I get home or something like that. So I'm going to try out some of that stuff. I'll get back to you with my success or failure, whatever it happens to be. Anyway. That's right. Rika-chama's Furude clan is ancient and honorable, and has worshipped Oyashiro-sama for generations. Yeah, I got a fair amount of ingredients. I think I missed a few, but I think we got them around elsewhere. I'll figure it out. Huh. I'd always gotten the feeling she wasn't quite your average person, but it turned out she was from an esteemed family. I want to say I kind of already knew that, but I don't know. After her father, who was the shrine priest, died the year before last, she's really been doing her best to learn the rituals. I wish the priest could have been here to see how wonderfully she's grown up. Oh yeah, by the way, I did listen to some of your the music you linked. Some of it's actually pretty good. You've got some really bizarre ones tossed into that mix as well that were mostly just a joke, I'd imagine. But some of your slower ones I actually liked pretty well. So it's pretty cool, man. Sorry I didn't get back to you. After her father, who was the shrine priest, died the year before last, she's really been doing her best to learn the rituals. I wish the priest could have been here to see how wonderfully she's grown up. Huh? Rika-chan's father passed away? Okay, break time is over. Let's get the chairs we're not using back to the gym in Okinomiya. Maki-san, pull the truck around here and take a few people with you. Alright, Maibara-kun, let's get to work on one last job. You gonna make me do more work? Oh yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for showing them. I can't tell if they know I'm a minor or not, but the older men all cheer me on, encouraging me to do my best and that the beer will be great. Oh, cool. Might toss me into the background music from other things. Okay, John, I'm working hard, I see. I passed by Mion. She was carrying a big cardboard box. It looked like she was right in the middle of working as well. Judging by the sweat seeping into her shirt, it seemed I wasn't the only one with his hands full. Yeah, I'm working my ass off. You work hard too. The beer's gonna be great. We were worked to the bone until the sun began to set and it started cooling off. It was soon full-fledged night, and the clear sound of the Higurashi erased the moderate pain I felt. The older guys began their night before drinking party in a tent a fair bit off, causing quite a ruckus. The shrine grounds, on the other hand, had turned into a lonely road, tickled by the cool evening breeze, despite being so festive just a little while ago. The wind felt good. I leaned on one of the stone guardian dogs at the front of the shrine. I gave my legs a good stretch as I let my mind wander, and suddenly a paper cup filled with barley tea was thrust before me. Kei-chan, great work. Here's some tea for you. You're so considerate. Thanks, me. Her voice sounded exactly the same, but it felt somehow different. Wait, you're... Hey, that's Shion. Don't go giving Mion all the credit. She isn't considerate at all. Don't get us confused, okay? Shion, you little... Oh, I've caught you. You're not getting away. It was your mistake, Kei-chan. I've never said I was anyone other than Shion. I guess I can't argue with that. That's right. You're no match for my older sister, so I can't let you be a match for me either. Anyway, your tea. It's going to get warm. Come on, please cheer up. I'm trying to make it up to you with this tea. Tea's not quite going to make it up to us. Well, to me anyway. Well, she did come all the way here to give it to me. I guess I'll accept it. I took the cup and downed it in one gulp. And then suddenly, I heard a loud shout and it got stuck in my throat. Which one is it this time? Is it the real Mion? Shion? Why are you hanging out with Kei-chan again? Because unlike you, I'm very considerate. When Kei-chan was so sweaty, I wouldn't leave him alone. I brought him some tea. By the way, why are you holding 2 cups of tea? Mion's face went bright red. She tried to hide the paper cups behind her back. This is... There's no way you, such a rough, timid, good sister of mine, would ever briskly bring a male classmate tea, is there? So what are they? What are those 2 cups of tea? These are, well, right. I was just so thirsty, I figured I'd drink 2. That's so like you. Come on, chug, chug. As Shion cheered at her, Mion downed both the cups of tea, one after the other. What a fabulous drink that was. I expected nothing less from you. Kei-chan, you give her a hand too. Wait, suddenly the situation has gotten unbelievable. Mion doesn't usually get manipulated so easily like that. I've known for a while now, but Shion is terrifying. Mion, you can't hold your own against Shion? I hate her. And lately I hate her even more. Just then, I heard the snap of a camera shutter. I was wondering if he was going to come back. Good evening. The festival's coming up tomorrow. Thanks for all your hard work setting it up today. Good evening. No, Shion-chan. It's quite unusual for you to come here. Oh, hey, it's Tomitake and Takano-san. Good evening. It's been a while, hasn't it? Hey there, Geiji-kun. You really did a bang-up job today. I'm impressed. It was nothing. Do you know Shion too? Indeed, I do. I come every year, after all. Still, if they changed hairstyles, I still wouldn't be able to tell them apart.
一緒にしないでくだ
Don't
さ
lump me
い
in with someone like her. Yeah, they're...
こんばんは。
Good evening.
私はわかりま
Do you
せん
recognize me?
すみません覚えがない
I'm
です
sorry, but I don't.
高野美代さんだ
She's
よ
Mio Takano-san.
ケイちゃんはまだ
Do you remember when you were at the doctor's office when you still had a cold, Kei-chan? So, wait.
美代さんは
Mio-san is one of those
診療所で
nurses
看
who
護師さん
works
をやっ
there.
てるんだよ
That was the last game, but I guess it happened without...
高野よ。
Call me Takano.
よろしくね
I'm pleased to meet you.
治療に来るとき
Tell me when you're coming in for treatment. I'll prepare a huge needle for you.
それはご丁寧にどう
That's
も
very thoughtful of you. Tomitake-san seemed to be quite entertained at the Sonozaki twins being in the same place, and he took picture after picture. Wow, I'd heard you two were identical twins, but it really is quite something to see side by side. You really do look exactly alike.
そっくりなのは外
They're
見
not
だけ
just
じゃ
alike
な
on
い
the
ですよ
outside. See? Their underwear matches too. Ah, you idiot! What the heck are you doing? Things have never been as lively as when the two of them were together. I thought they were exactly the same at first, but I've started to get a handle on which one is which. No, you haven't. Mion is Mion, and Shion... Well, she seems a far better actor than Mion was. In the first place, somebody that could spurn Mion so easily wouldn't have shown such weakness to those large lubbers at Angel Mort. If that was the case, then that cowardly behavior from that day was all a complete act. That right then and there should have been a big red flag.
あの二人
They were even more alike when they were little.
ご両親
I heard even their parents had a hard time telling which was which.
わからない
すごく想像に容易で
It's
す
really easy to imagine.
ご両親のご苦労が
I totally
よく
understand
わ
what
かり
they
ま
must
す
have gone through. Takano gave me kind of an odd look, but explaining would have been a pain, so I didn't bother.
富竹のおじさまは
Tomitake,
また渡流
are
し
you
の
going
取材
straight
が
back
終わ
to
ったら
Tokyo after you get
東京
your
にとんぼ返り
pictures
です
of
か
the festival? Yep. Though I would rather just stay here forever. Silly adult things, after all.
お写真が
I hope your
早く
photos
素
win
敵
a
な賞を
fabulous
取るとい
prize
いで
soon.
すね
I've been praying for it.
ありがとう
Thanks.
今度来るときには
Next time I come, I'll bring the pictures I took of you all today.
今日は前原君お疲
Maibara-kun,
れ
you
様
did a lot of work today.
慣れない力仕
You
事
must be
で
tired from all the
疲れたでしょ
physical labor you're not used to.
まあ
Well,
疲れたけ
I'm
ど
tired,
結構
but
楽しかっ
it
た
was still pretty fun.
若さね
Ah, youth.
羨ましい
I'm so jealous. Takano-san smiled with an adult elegance that no one in my circle of friends possessed. The wind cut her hair. She gives off an intelligent beauty. Oh, why, hello everyone. Seemed like our merry crowd was standing out. This time an overweight older man addressed us. And again, it was someone I thought I knew. If I recall correctly, he's a policeman, isn't he?
あら大石
Oh,
さん
Oichi-san.
こんばんは
Good evening.
明日の警
Doing
護
a
の
preliminary
支度です
security inspection for tomorrow?
そんなところ
Something like that.
おや
Oh, if it isn't Tomitake-kun.
ご無沙汰して
It's
おります
certainly been a while.
ね
He talks a bit slowly, it's weird.
僕の名前を覚えていてくださった
I'm honored you remembered my name.
あなたもつくづく
You really do
平
love
見沢が好きですな
Hinamizawa, don't you?
ここいらへんは東京
The
より
apartments around here are far
アパートは
cheaper than the ones in Tokyo.
いっそ
You
引っ
should
越して
just
く
move
れ
here
ば
and
いい
get it over with.
仲のいい
I know a realtor I can introduce you to.
それは嬉しい
I
ですね
appreciate the thought.
その説はぜ
I'd
ひ
very
お
much
世話に
like
な
to
りたい
follow
で
up
す
on that.
ではでは
All
皆
right.
さん
Everyone,
良いお年を
Have a good year.
園崎の双子さん
And
も
Happy New Year to the Sonozaki twins, too.
良いお年を
Happy New Year,
大石刑事
Detective Oishi.
お仕事よろしくお
We
願いしま
appreciate
す
your
ね
work.
今年は皆さん
We'd
の
like
手
to
を
end
煩
this year's
わせない
festivities with
渡
the
流し
least
に
amount of
したいです
inconvenience possible.
おりゃ手厳
That's
しい
pretty strict on me. The detective, Ueshi, left us with a low laugh and headed off to talk to some police officers standing a ways away. I gave Mion a glance and saw her making an annoyed face, as if she were glaring bullets at someone she hated. Yeah. It'd be nice if the police didn't have anything to do during Watanagashi this year. You like this place too, don't you? Oh, you mean to say you dislike it, Jiro-san? I quite enjoy such fantastic stories, you know. Especially with the times being so dry and uninteresting. That ain't the case this year. The curse of Oyashiro-sama, you mean? Curse. Tomitaki-san used a troubling word. Then, suddenly, somebody tugged on my arm. Kei-chan? Pretty hungry. Wanna go to the tent with the drinks and have some candy and sweets? Huh? I'm up for that. I'm a little hungry as well. Okay, let's go. A moment later, Shion said something to Takano and Tomitaki and stung my ears. Tomitaki that stung my ears and gave me a start. I wonder who will die and who will disappear this year. I pulled back from Mion's grip and stopped abruptly. Shion, what did she just say? It felt like the air around us dried out all of a sudden. Let's go, Kei-chan. I'm talking about something silly anyway. You still haven't told Kei-chan? I make it a point not to spread stories like that. Shion's cold and quiet tone and Mion's harsh voice were quite the contrast. Hey, wait, hold on. What are you talking about? If you know something, then tell me. It doesn't feel right being the only one left out, you know? I don't understand this. Someone explain it to me. However, Mion didn't seem to be at all willing to grant my request. She squeezed my hand in hers a bit, but when she realized I would hold my ground on this topic, she let go. I'm gonna go to the drinking tent first then. If you don't come soon, Kei-chan, there won't be any left for you. I get it already. I'll be there soon. Mion left, trotting towards a particularly noisy tent on the other side of the shrine grounds. Before she got there, she stopped and turned back around. I showed no signs of going after her, though, so she ran off. I could tell you if you haven't heard, I suppose. But it might be smarter not to ask, and go with her to eat dessert. Hey now, you've already got my full attention here. I'm not going to leave without asking at this point. I think Kei-chan has the right to hear this too. My sister was just stealing that from you. Shion's voice was bristling with thorns, as if somehow blaming Mion. What on earth are you talking about? I don't really like people acting so self-important. Takano-san, realizing how prepared I was, looked across the group. After confirming that there were no objections, she opened her mouth. Do you believe in curses, Maebara-kun? Curses? I think they're interesting, but I don't really... I felt their cynical stares and winced. It was like they were telling me it was a stranger not to believe in curses. You're not wrong, Kei-chan. Curses are just superstition. It's only natural that you wouldn't believe in them. Mm-hmm. Besides, you can take all the time you need to decide whether to believe in curses after you've heard us, though. True, said Takano-san, giving a little smile. They're trying to scare me. At least, that's what it feels like. Alright, I'll start. Keiichi-kun, do you know about the Hinamizawa Dam project? Oh yeah, the other day at Angel Mart, Mion, told me all about it. You mean the plan for the giant dam that would flood all of Hinamizawa, right? That's right. Residents of the town banded together to fight it, and a fierce battle with the government unfolded. I've heard that too. The entire village united, using all the power at their disposal, mass media, political influence, and other things, and fought the country. The way Mion described it made it sound like a boast. No, you know quite a bit about it. Yes, you're right. It's practically an epic tale how just 1,000 or so villagers banded together and rejected the government's plans. Yeah, very American thing to do.
その辺は
Original
お姉
American
に
is
聞かされてま
different
せん
now.
か？
Did you hear this from my sister?
この辺りの
She likes those kinds of
お姉も好
epics,
き
you
です
know.
からね。
あ
Yeah,
あ話してたよ
she told me. There was, however, an office for the Hinamizawa residents' opposition faction. It was this shrine.
ほら
You know the assembly hall? That's where it used to be. Now that the whole thing is over, the senior citizens just use it for group activities. At the time, though, it was their last bastion. Takano-san explained this, pointing a finger towards the assembly hall. I had been carrying things in and out of there all day. I mean, I would understand if they put an office like that in the mayor's house or something, but having an office on Shrine grounds made it feel kind of like a base camp for Sengoku period wars. That was basically the mindset, though. Placing the main force in the shrine dedicated to Oyashiro-sama, Hinamizawa's guardian deity, was like a prayer for victory. Oyashiro-sama. That was definitely it. They mentioned Oyashiro-sama's curse before. Is it the same Oyashiro-sama? Do you know about Oyashiro-sama, Keiichi-kun? It's the name of the god worshipped at the shrine, and said that he protects all of
い
Hinamizawa.
やよくは知らないです
I don't really know much about him. I see. I think Takano-san knows more about the rest. Tag, hear it. Well, that is generally the whole story. Oyashiro-sama is the ancient god passed down in Hinamizawa, and the villagers say he has been protecting the sanctuary from the poisons of the outside world. So essentially, he's a basic standard guardian deity. I guess you can find that sort of god anywhere you go. There's research into whether worshipping Oyashiro-sama is a manifestation of a kind of elitism too. What I mean is that the worshippers might think of themselves as chosen people. Believing yourself chosen, a nationalistic belief that you are part of a superior race, or that you're a special clan chosen by the gods. They believe that they're a superior clan, so they believe strongly in cooperating with others, but they also end up being exclusionary towards other clans. I won't go into too much detail, but it's the sort of national and religious ideas that lead to war. Of course, that goes for Japan, too. A long time ago, the people of Hinamizawa strongly believed themselves different from humans, that they were above them. They believed that interaction with the lower world would sully their souls. So everyone believed that if one from the lower world came to the village, they would be sullied and suffer the wrath of Oyashiro-sama. Apparently, that kept everyone away. Villages that hate outsiders come up all the time in mystery novels. This was once a classic example of a xenophobic village. Well, it was denied to preserve their pride. It was all a long time ago, after all. Things are different now. Shion followed up quickly, having sensed the thorns in Tomitaki-san's words. Tomitaki-san, embarrassed at what he said, scratched his head. So this shrine worships Oyashiro-sama, thinks of Hinamizawa as holy ground, and it's a symbol of their traditional hatred of the outside world.
なるほど
I get it.
だから下界
So
からやって
that's
き
why
た
they chose the shrine of Hinamizawa's guardian spirit as their base of
南山
operations,
の守り神様の神
to
社
resist the Sully Dam construction project that came from the outside. Correct. Smile, Takano, please. She must dislike stupid people. Most people dislike stupid people. Except for stupid people. Superstition. Every last bit of it. The villagers gave everything, desperate to oppose the dam construction. And, right in the midst of it, the incident drove home the finishing blow. Oishiro-sama's curse. The person managing the construction site of the Hinamizawa Dam was murdered. 4 years ago, I believe. It took the newspapers by storm. Do you remember it? No, not really. The construction manager was murdered and dismembered. Such a gruesome incident. But it was just that, an incident. A person caused the incident, after all. Should they really put it down to the curse? Then the following year, the man who had organized Hinamizawa's group of dam proponents, he fell from a cliff while on vacation and died. Apparently, it was an accident. Of course, most of Hinamizawa was hostile towards him. The police were all over the case, as if it were a homicide, but in the end it was judged to have been an accident. Now it's an accident. This is the most curse-like one, but it's still far-fetched. And then, on the next year, this time the priest of the shrine contracted an unknown illness and suddenly died. This may sound a little rude, but the old priest was kind of a wait-and-see type. The whole village was in an uproar about the dam, but he just kind of didn't seem to want to bother. The shrine was a symbol of the opposition movement, and its priests, well, his attitude works against him. The villagers at the time had hoped for a leader, but their hopes were betrayed. Some people were apparently pretty angry too. So at the time, all the older people were like, "This is Oyashiro-sama's curse." That's what they said. It didn't seem like every year dam-related... It did seem like every year dam-related people the village had resentment towards were dying. It was pretty creepy. Oh, and also, it's interesting, all of these incidents and accidents always happen on the night of the Watanagashi festival. Huh? See? It's starting to sound like a curse now, isn't it? Then the year after that, in other words, last year, the sister-in-law of the man who was the leader of the dam proponents, the one who accidentally died, was discovered dead, having been beaten to death. I believe that's a new one. Of course, they caught the criminal. See? Really seems like a curse, huh? 4 years in a row. Each one of the incidents and accidents were relatively commonplace, but every single one of them happening on the night of the festival, worshipping Oyashiro-sama? That's not normal. The old folks have been blindly accepting Oyashiro-sama's curse because of the incidents these past few years. Even younger people too. At first they thought it was stupid, but now nobody makes fun of it. Yeah, I can see where she's coming from. Even me. Even if I didn't think there was a curse at all, thinking about all the incidents like this makes me feel like maybe it's real. For example, just look at the preparations for the festival you were doing today. Everything might have gone crazy during the battle against the dam, but just a few years ago, the Watanagashi festival was never this well attended. Well, I guess you're right. If we didn't have Oyashiro-sama to talk about, we wouldn't all be coming to a festival like this, huh? There's a lot of people who say that infidels might get punished, so they really need to go to Oyashiro-sama's festival. Shion nodded as if she were mocking herself. So how about now? Keiichi-kun, you're starting to get the feeling that maybe, just maybe, the curse is real, aren't you? I mean, you can't just laugh off people related to the dam construction project all dying like that. If even I feel like this now, then the more superstitious members of the village must feel stronger than that. Well, I mean, I still don't think there's a curse. I can understand those that believe there is, though.
わかるつもりです。
さすが
Wow, Kei-chan,
ケイちゃんは冷
you
静
can
に
really
判
keep a
断
cool
で
head
きます
about
ね
this. Shion grinned, realizing I'd rejected the curse.
たたりでもなく
If it's neither a
偶然のは
curse
ずも
nor
な
a
いな
coincidence, then what should we make of those incidents?
これらの事件はどういうことになるのかしら
Takano-san said, smiling playfully as if posing a riddle. Neither a curse nor a coincidence, but every year someone dies. What should we make of that, then? Tomitaki-san, catching on to the fact that I had no idea what to make of it, opened his mouth and came to my aid.
高野さんはね、
Takano-san is suggesting
人
that it
間
might
の
be the
仕業
work
か
of
も
real
しれないっ
people.
て言ってるんだよ。
Huh? Simple process of elimination would have got me there. I was a little taken aback at not having realized the answer immediately.
だってそうでしょ
Well, think about it.
たたりでもな
If
く
it's neither a
偶
curse
然でも
nor
な
a
いなら
coincidence, then people
人の
must be
意志が
willingly carrying it
働
out.
いているとしか考えられない
It's the only
もの
explanation, right? Pressed, Takano-san. I smiled bitterly in spite of myself. Here I was, just a few minutes ago, thinking the very concept of a curse was absolutely absurd. When she suggested it was someone's doing, I ended up thinking there wasn't any way it could be a person. But Takano-san was right. It was either a curse, or it was a person's doing. If unrealistic things like curses didn't exist, then the obvious next step would be to start thinking it was people behind it. But if that was the case, I glanced at Shion.
人間が犯人なら
If the culprit is a
確かに
person,
ひなみ
then
沢の
they'd
誰
have
か
to be
が
someone
犯
from
人なんでしょうね
Hinamizawa.
現に
That's what the police officer, Hoishi-san, thinks right now, too.
おいおい、
Hey, wait.
そんなわけ
That
あるのかよ。
Be... I thought I now knew the reason Mion didn't want to talk about this. If Oyashiro-sama's curse really existed, then that's fine. It would be divine judgment for the Dam Project business. However, if Oyashiro-sama's curse didn't exist, which it obviously didn't, then the culprit would most likely be someone from Hinamizawa. The villagers had worked desperately to oppose the dam construction project. I knew they had used all sorts of methods to fight against it. If one of those methods was... maybe...
お社様のたたりはダム計画
People
抵抗
whispered
運動
that
の
Oyashiro-sama's curse
暗部
could
じ
be
ゃ
the
ないか
doing
っ
of
て
a
ささや
secret
かれ
group
てるん
from
で
the
す
dam resistance movement. Shion dryly put words to my exact thoughts. Of course, I didn't expect it. She was from Hinamizawa, so I didn't think she'd come out and say it herself.
ちょっと落ち着いて考え
If
れ
you
ば
calm down and think
誰
about
が
it,
見たって
anyone
南
would
沢の
come to
誰
the
かの
same
仕業だ
conclusion.
ってわかるダム工事に
There
反
wouldn't be
対
a
して
motive
渡
for
航す
anyone
る
but
人以
people
外
who benefit
動
from
機がな
opposing
い
the
じゃな
dam
いです
project,
か
right?
それはそうだけ
I guess that's true. Admitting to the existence of a darker side of the dam conflict would be rude to Mion, who spoke of it so highly. So I couldn't just accept Shion's seemingly logical viewpoint.
それにね
One more thing.
警察の人は
The
知ら
police
ないだろう
probably
け
don't
ど
know this.
南沢の人間にはわか
There's
る
proof that someone from
南沢の
Hinamizawa
人間の
committed these
犯行だ
crimes,
という証拠があ
and
る
the people of Hinamizawa know it.
え
What? Shion rebukes me to keep my voice down.
ごめん。
Sorry,
でもその
but
証拠って
this proof,
一体
what is it?
必ず
It's the fact that one person dies,
もう一
and one
人
more
が消
person
えるからです
disappears. One more person disappears. Does that mean that someone besides the one who died from the curse was a sacrifice?
消えるって意味が
What do you
よ
mean
くわ
by
からないな。
disappear?
それは
They just
失踪するっ
vanish
て
and
意
you
味
never see them again?
そうです
That's right.
忽然と
Suddenly,
跡
and
形
without
も
a
なく
trace. As she spoke, Shion pretended to do a trick with her hands like she were making a magician's hat disappear. One dies a mysterious death, and one disappears, never to be seen again. A strange, vanishing act. But then why? How does that equate to someone from Hinamizawa being the culprit?
実はね
Well, actually,
南沢の
Hinamizawa has this one
伝統の一
really
つ
old legend.
お社様
It's
の
about
怒
how
りを
people
鎮め
offer
るために
sacrifices to
生
Oyashiro
贄
sama
を捧げ
to
た
calm his wrath.
生贄
Sacrifices?
ええ
Yes.
すまきにされ
They say they used to wrap a living person up in a bamboo mat and let them slowly sink down into a bottomless swamp. Takano-san, though explaining something pretty terrible, has a look of glee on her face as she did so. As far as I can glean from the literature, it actually took 3 days and 3 nights for them to sink. See? Even people a long time ago liked symbolism. As the body sunk, Oyashiro-sama's anger would be quelled. Both were submerged into the deep. Takano-san was the only one laughing at this. Was she telling a joke or something? Shion didn't move to deny it, but I felt a difference in temperature between her cool expression and Takano-san. This whole conversation, well, I think you can imagine after hearing it, but it's the secret history of Hinamizawa. Everyone who has been in Hinamizawa for a long time knows it, but they don't talk about it. Takano-san's not from here, but she knows quite a lot. She really likes local history, folk legends, stuff like that. She learned all about it all by herself, too. I'm really not all that amazing. Just curious, that's all. Like a child. I just want to see scary things for the fun of it. Tomitaki-san laughed. A little bit embarrassed. Wait a minute. What does that mean? The other person who disappears during the incidents? You're saying they're offered as a sacrifice? Yeah. Shion answers in one word before anyone else can speak. Someone dies, then someone disappears. Well, whether they actually get sacrificed or not is a different issue. But every time something happened in the past, one person died, and one other person disappeared. For example, the first one, where the dam site manager was killed, apparently one of the people responsible for that still hasn't been arrested. Couldn't that just mean he managed to get away? I don't see why we should treat him as a sacrifice. Well, that's basically what I think too. There was also the year after that, with the leader of the dam proponents. Or you said he fell from a cliff and died while on vacation, right? Apparently, his wife fell as well. The police investigated fervently, but they were never able to find the wife's corpse. The river under the cliff was actually pretty high at the time, though. She could have just been buried under the sand at the bottom of some lake downstream, or something. The perpetrator of a dismemberment like that wouldn't want to be caught, so they'd be desperate to run away and hide too. I thought I'd heard about cases where the corpse wouldn't surface after the person drowned in a swelled river like that. She vanished because of an unfortunate accident, but I still didn't see the connection to sacrifices. If you took each of the past incidents in turn, none of the disappearances evoked that terrifying of an image. The year after that, with the priest suddenly falling ill and dying, is much clearer. His wife left a suicide note. They found it in their house the night the priest died. It said something along the lines of her quelling Oyashiro-sama's wrath through her death. The curse. It seems to turn up in this one, though. Well, we may never know the truth of the matter. The swamp the wife drowned herself in was the giant, bottomless one Takano mentioned before. The police investigated it, but all they could find were several of her possessions. They never found the corpse. The police suspect it was a fake suicide, and they're still investigating it now. Someone dies every year, and in the same way, someone goes missing every year. Is she trying to tell me that everyone who vanished was kidnapped by some extremely efficient means, and dumped into the bottomless swamp, still alive and drowned to death? But a curse? That's unbelievable in its own right. And the next year, what was it? The dam proponent's sister-in-law? She was killed. So that time, someone else vanished? Someone did disappear. It was a boy around my age named Satoshi Hojo. He was the nephew by marriage of the woman killed. Shion cut in with a slightly strong tone of voice. She knew the boy who had disappeared pretty well. At least, that's the vibe I was getting. Well, that about sums everything up. One person always dies, and one person always suddenly disappears. Leaving the suddenness aside, the fact was that each incident involved one person disappearing. So that means the first person who dies is because of Oishiro-sama's curse, and the second person who vanishes is because the villagers sacrificed them. Is that it? Kei-chan, there is no curse. Somebody kills the first person who is the guise of the curse, and someone takes away the second person to be a sacrifice. But Shion, that means the criminal is in the village. That's what I've been guessing from the start. It's pretty shocking though, you know? We live in the Showa period. It's kinda hard to believe people are committing murder like it's nothing, using some ancient justifications, huh? It didn't have anything to do with our discussion, but I get the feeling that maybe Shion didn't like Hinamizawa very much. Mion enjoyed talking about Hinamizawa and its epic tales. So she had avoided talking about Oishiro-sama's curse, which didn't paint Hinamizawa in a good light, no matter how you looked at it. She was trying not to give me a bad impression of the village, so she didn't say anything. Shion, on the other hand, was somehow different. She wasn't rejecting the concept of a curse to purge Hinamizawa of this bad impression, but rather because she strongly believed that a member of the village was the criminal behind this. Her conviction seemed a bit removed from the tight sense of community held by the people of Hinamizawa. Once upon a time, they looked so alike you could mistake one for the other. But talking to her now, I was getting a powerful feeling that Shion had a completely different personality than Mion. Then everyone else, they all think someone from Hinamizawa did it, right? Neither Shion nor Takano-san answered that. The deafening silence told me all that needed to be said. Then let me ask another question. If someone from Hinamizawa is the culprit, then who is it? Neither Shion nor Takano-san had a reply to that question either. Though it may have been rude to ask, I had hoped they wouldn't have one. The reason I asked was to argue that their explanation that the culprit was from Hinamizawa was nothing more than one possibility. Shion caught on to my plan. She gave a pained smile at my petty spite and opened her mouth to speak. All I said really just amounts to circumstantial evidence anyway. If any of us knew who it really was, we'd have gotten them into police hands already. As would anybody. Then what about Takano-san? She too smiled dryly as Shion had and opened her own mouth. Well, I'd like to clear one thing up. I'm not a detective or anything, alright? In all honesty, I'm not really interested in who the culprit is. Takano-san, you sure are a handful. Tomitaki-san gives a bitter laugh at her surprising opinion on the matter. You see, I just like cruel and atrocious ancient traditions and fairy tales. I only enjoy them from a curious onlooker's perspective. So even for the string of incidents, it's not so much finding out who the culprit is, but enjoying thinking about how the old traditions displayed by the incidents themselves still seem to have some pretty deep roots around here. Though she described herself as nothing more than a curious onlooker, her smile was as sharp as the tip of a blade. A woman like her felt very strange and a little scary to me. Maybe it's just that I was in fearful awe of the person whose emotions I couldn't comprehend. No, I don't think any of this is interesting at all. The Watanagashi festival is coming up tomorrow, but I don't want anyone to die or disappear. Tomorrow, huh? That's right. It had completely slipped my mind. The string of murder incidents people attributed to Oishiro-sama's curse. It wasn't over. If last year's incident wasn't the end, then tomorrow night at the festival, would someone die and someone disappear? I do wonder who will die tomorrow, and who will disappear, though. Takano-san said, running a comb through her hair with elegant movements, with a thin smile and a voice that nearly made me shudder. She almost looked like she was enjoying the thought of the incidents that could happen tomorrow. Then, out of the blue, we heard a loud round of applause, They seem to be ending the drinking party early. Right. I was making Mion wait this whole time, wasn't I? I should go back to her soon.
高野さんもから
You're
かいすぎだ
teasing
よ
the kid too much, Takano-san.
圭一君がすっかり真
Now
に受けてしまったん
Keiichi-kun
じゃない
thinks
か
it's all true.
ごめんなさい
I
ね
apologize.
また悪い
It's that
癖が
bad
出ちゃった
habit of
みたい
mine again. Bad habit. Sure, let's go with that. Said Takano-san, sticking out her tongue bashfully. The strangeness in her expression was nowhere to be found.
高野さんはね
When Takano-san
純粋
sees
そう
an
な子を見ると
innocent
からか
child
いた
like
くなる
you,
悪い癖
she
があるん
can't
だよ
help wanting to poke fun at them. It's a really bad habit.
圭一君が真剣に聞いて
Keiichi-kun,
くれるもんだから
you're listening to
ついつい
everything so
調子に乗っちゃ
earnestly
った
that
み
she
たいなん
ended
だ
up getting carried away. Unlike Takano-san, Tomitake-san seemed like a totally normal person with common sense. They were apologizing after realizing what kind of impression they gave me.
高野さんが言いました
The
話は
stuff Takano-san
あくまでも
just
フィクション
said
だ
is
から
all
ね
fiction.
もしもさっきの
If it
話
made
で
you harbor any
圭
bad
一君
impressions
が
about
ひなみさんが
Hinamizawa,
持ってたいい印
then
象
can you
が
apologize
傷つけ
for
られ
that?
てしまったなら純粋
もうジローさん
Geez, Jiro-san.
高野さんも謝った
You
方がいい
apologize too, Takano-san.
怖がらせて
Tell
しま
him
って
you're sorry
ご
for
めんなさい
scaring
っ
him.
てね
Takano and Tomitake-san were arguing and messing around now. The strained air around us had already dissipated.
ケイちゃんも
Kei-chan,
そろ
you
そ
should
ろ
get
戻
going
った方
soon
がいい
too.
ですお姉は嫉妬
Mion
深い
is the
ですから
jealous
ね
type.
私は
If she sees me,
顔を合
she'll
わ
probably
せる
start
と
a
喧
fight.
嘩になりそ
So
う
I'll
だ
just
か
be
ら
going home.
そうなのか
Really?
じゃあ俺は
Then
ミオ
I'll
の
go
とこ
see
に
what
戻っ
Mion's
て
doing and apologize for
任せた
making her
ことは
wait,
謝るかな
I guess.
迷惑をかけたね圭一君
Sorry for being such a nuisance, Keiichi-kun.
ミオンちゃんに
Could you tell
圭一君
Mion-chan
を
we're
長
sorry
く
for
借り
bothering
す
you
ぎ
for so
て申し訳
long?
ないと伝えて
あはい
Yes.
伝えても機
I
嫌は
don't
直
think
さない
telling
と
her
思
will
いま
make
す
her
けど
feel any better, but sure. Tomitake-san and Takano-san, standing next to each other, both began to chuckle.
じゃあねケイちゃん
Okay then, Kei-chan,
明日のお祭
let's
り
try and run into each
どこ
other
か
at
ですれ
tomorrow's
違える
festival.
といいですね
会えるよ
We'll see each other.
どうせ俺たち
I
のこと
mean,
だ
it's us we're talking about after all.
賑やかにやってるに決まって
We'll
る
be making so much trouble, it'd be hard for you not to find us. Shion and I said our goodbyes to Tomitake-san and Takano-san. Before we could leave, Takano-san called out to us.
私の話を
Thanks
真
for
剣に
listening
聞いて
so
くれ
earnestly
て
to what I
あ
had
りが
to
とうね
say.
前原君
You're
があ
just
ま
so
りに
good
聞
at
き上手
listening.
だったんで
Had a great time
話して
talking
て
to you.
とても楽しかったわ
聞き上手なんて
Good at listening?
そんな
No, not at all. I was just in a state of perpetual bewilderment from all the shocking topics being thrown at me one after another.
今日した話
Did you like my story today?
まあ
Well, it was pretty
興味
interesting.
深かったです
なら
Then I'll
ま
tell you
た
some
今度
more
聞い
sometime.
てくれる
Okay?
南沢の
There's a lot of
昔
pretty
話と
interesting
かおとぎ
legends
話
and fairy
にも
tales about
興味
Hinamizawa.
深いものがもち
And
ろ
of
ん
course, a lot of
薄気
strange
味
and
悪
creepy
いのが
ones
た
too.
くさんね私特
I'll
製
choose a
の
bunch of my
た
favorites
く
and
さん
tell
披
you
露
about
するわ
them.
よ
It was kind of happy, but kind of worried. I can't help but smile dryly and scratch at my head.
圭一君もう行
Keiichi-kun,
ってもいいんだよ
you can go now.
高野さんがからかっている
Takano-san
だ
is
け
just
さ
messing with you. They say goodbye again and run off. I heard Tomitake-san call out behind him in a clear voice that we should see each other at the festival tomorrow. When I went to the tent Mion was waiting for me in, she was nowhere to be found. I made her wait so long. Maybe she got mad and went home. After asking some adults passing by, I heard that she went home, talking to some relatives. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. But my regret for having made Mion wait wasn't enough to triumph over the impression Takano-san and Shion's and Kenny's story left on me. Serial murder incidents had happened 4 years in a row. Would tomorrow's events make this the 5th? And the possibility that someone from Hinamizawa was carrying this all out under the guise of the curse. The queer tradition of ritual sacrifice, entirely unbecoming of the Showa period we lived in. I regretted it a little, though it was too late. If none of those creepy stories had anything to do with me, then I should have let Mion pull me away from that crowd. I felt a little ashamed about letting my cheap curiosity get the better of me. Higurashi when they cry. Welcome to Hinamizawa. What I find interesting about Chapter 2, well, this, holy shit, we'll do that next time. That's a lot of things. We'll read the tips for next time. But one of the things I find interesting this time around is he's told about the curse before the festival, because in the first one he was told about it after the festival, which puts a little bit of a different spin on some of this and potentially some other things happening. The festival might not be as happy-go-lucky as it was last time. Anyway, it's interesting, and I admire Shion's character, but I dislike her personally. So yeah, I noticed we should have gone with Mion immediately as we did it, so bad on you, Keiichi. Just like all the wrong moves in a row. Anyway, take care, everybody. Hope you have fun. Try not to kill people. Don't attend the Watanagashi festival. You fear for your life. Something like that. And listen to your friends. Try to pay attention and try not to screw shit up.